Greetings! I'm your host Douglas here at Drownboy Productions, and when I'm not dressing up as other cooler horror hosts for Halloween, I'm here in the mask room reviewing Halloween masks.
Well, that's enough of that. I love you, Doc, but I don't see how you wear that mask every single video. It gets hot very quickly. Anyways, enough of my tricks, time for a treat. I hope you're all having a wonderful October and a happy Halloween. My October has been the busiest I have ever been in my entire life, but a lot of great things are coming out of it, some of which you guys have already seen, some of which you have not yet. With how much crazy stuff gets featured here on the channel throughout the year and how much of this stuff is centered around Halloween, I'm sure you guys are probably expecting some big crazy Halloween special. And I don't have anything absolutely amazing, astonishing coming into the collection today that I'm going to be sharing with you, but I do have a pile of really cool, really rare stuff from one of the most important people in the entire mask hobby that I'm super excited to share with you all. So if you guys are fans of masks in general and the mask world, I strongly suggest you stick this video out. If you're a dedicated viewer of the channel who keeps up with most of the videos, you've likely already seen this and you know what it is. But for those of you who don't, this is a very rare Sam McCain Horror Sanctum Studios Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 2 that was painted by David Lady and haired by Laura Lady. One of the things that makes this so special is that this side of the face actually features screen-used mold makeup appliances from Carl Fullerton. There was an original version that was done back in the 80s, and that was actually the very first ever licensed Jason Voorhees mask. This was Sam's version 2 with a much better face sculpt, and the paint and finish on this copy is absolutely impeccable. Painted by David Lady, haired by Laura, as I've just said, and I acquired this directly from Dr. Lady. However, whenever I acquired it, there were some issues. At first I thought it was just some here on the back of the neck where the latex was starting to split. And at first I thought it was just like light hairline cracks on the inside. However, after receiving it, I noticed that it actually was going all the way through in certain areas. After inspecting the mask further, I noticed some hairline cracks in other areas, including the top of the head. Nothing super severe, but it was definitely on its way to starting to decompose. And it seems like this is possibly due to dry rot from it being in the mask fan attic for years. However, it has been very well taken care of, it's been bagged, there's no dust all over it, and other than the degrading of the latex, this thing is in fantastic shape and is still one of the rarest, hands down, one of the rarest Jason masks in the entire hobby. So whenever I received this piece from Dr. Lady, I immediately went to work to try and save it. I repaired the areas that had cracks on the interior, bonded those back together, and then I foam filled it. And I managed to do this without distorting the face, so it all still has its original shape. This was my first ever attempt foam filling a vintage mask like this, and this is a very rare piece to risk it on, but I'm actually pretty pleased with the outcome. I didn't cause any more damage, and I believe with the work that I've done, this thing should be preserved for many years to come, so I'm super stoked about that. And since I'm so proud of how that foaming turned out, I think I'll leave him right here for the remainder of the video. Now, earlier I mentioned that I received a package from one of the most important people in the entire mask world, and I've already mentioned his name. He worked on this piece. Dr. Lady is the person that sold me this piece. He painted it. He was good friends with Sam, so I imagine that's how he got the completely uncut perfect blank. And Dr. Lady also sent me a massive package here. I'm really excited to go through it, but before I do, I just want to give you all a little bit of history about who Dr. Lady is. To many of you viewers who are a part of the mask world outside of the Scream and Ghostface niche community, you will know Dr. Lady as a well-known collector who has a YouTube channel going under the name Mask Wizard. Dr. Lady has done a couple of different series, including The Mask Fan Attic and Creepy Cheapies. But that's only the surface layer. Dr. Lady has been involved with so many different facets of the mask world, it is completely insane. And to be honest, his accomplishments outweigh my intelligence on the subject. He has just done so much. I could sit here and list off, the Halloween Mask Association. He's been involved with Mask Fest. He's been involved with just so many different things. It's mind-boggling. Dr. Lady truly is the Mask Wizard. And I want to reiterate again, not only is Dr. Lady one of the most knowledgeable mask historians in the entire hobby, and he has been for decades, but he's also one of the most skilled mask artists, and he has worked with so many different great artists. He's done so much work for so many people. Just truly, if you want to do a deep dive on him, definitely look into it, because Dr. Lady's history is truly amazing in the world of masks. But like I said, we can babble on about that all day. You guys just want to see cool stuff, so let's go ahead and get to the stuff, right? So let's just go ahead and dive in, starting with some signed pictures of Dr. Lady and Laura Lady. I requested these because these are both two well-known people in the mask community who are also incredibly inspiring artists, and this was really special to me, so I really appreciate this. Here we have the photo of Dr. Lady. So if you wanted to see what he looks like, there you go. Though I guess if you really wanted to know, you could just go look at his YouTube channel, Mask Wizard. You know what? You should go ahead and do that. I'll wait. All right, you back? Did you enjoy yourself? I bet you did. So much cool stuff there. Anyways, here is his lovely wife, Laura Lady. She does amazing hair work, and of course she has amazing hair too. Both very wonderful, charismatic people in the mask world, and Dr. Lady is also quite the comedian. If you haven't watched his content, I strongly recommend you go check it out. And also, speaking of being an artist, he of course doesn't work just in the mask medium, but if you're a friend of Dr. Lady's on Facebook, or if you just follow his creations, you'll know that Dr. Lady will usually post daily doodles, and sometimes multiple a day. Either that or I'm just seeing multiple in my feed a day. I always look forward to seeing what kind of crazy stuff Dr. Lady's gonna doodle today, so I requested him to send me a few original sketches, and he actually did send me quite a few. So let's start off with this larger piece, a really cool skull with his tongue hanging out, his skull bashed open and brains exposed. This is a really, really cool piece, and I don't know what exactly this was used for, but it does have adhesive on the back. So this was hung up or used on a decoration or something in some capacity, and that's really, really cool. I'm a huge fan of anything Dr. Lady has done. Unfortunately, I've never been to the Horror Hotel, but I love following this stuff, so this is a dream come true. And then he sent me several pages of original sketches. Check these out. How cool. So many cool original sketches. And many of these would make for really, really cool mask designs. And my friend Gavin said that he even thought that some of them would make for some pretty cool tattoos. So with 6 drawings per page, there are 19 original pieces of Dr. Lady artwork, and that is incredibly special to me. I'm gonna figure out some way to frame these or put them in a collage somehow so I can put them in the museum, or maybe I'll just have them here at the house, but I'll probably try to put these in the museum, maybe next to those headshots. Moving right along, we have a Horror Hotel dining room menu. This is really cool. Looks like you have Laura on the front there with a plate of brains, eyeballs, and a bone, some spiders. On the back here, you have a drawing of the Horror Hotel, and it says, "Our establishment began its life well over 125 years ago as a hotel for travelers making use of Chatfield's then thriving railroad station. Over the years, the little hotel changed hands and functions several times. It served as a restaurant, a pool hall, a social club, and in more recent times, a butcher shop and meat market. Returning now to the hospitality of days gone by, we once again welcome weary travelers, only now, Horror Hotel provides accommodations for all the ghosts and monsters who come back every October to celebrate Halloween in the old-fashioned traditions." I also love at the bottom, instead of "all rights reserved," it says "all frights reserved." It's that kind of stuff that makes me enjoy Dr. Lady's content so much. And if you've actually conversed with him as well, he is exactly pretty much how he is on camera. It's awesome. Inside, you have just all sorts of hilarious puns of different types of foods. I mean, I could sit here and read all of these off to you. Instead, I'll probably just throw in some nice close-ups so you guys can enjoy this as well. But this is a really, really cool piece of Horror Hotel history. Moving right along, we have another piece of Dr. Lady history that is very well known. We have the Extreme Mask Making, a How-To Guide for Humans by Dr. Lady. So many awesome masks there on the cover. On the back, learn how to make your own rubber monster masks. Inside tips, list of suppliers, detailed info, allegedly helpful photos, low in cholesterol. Visit us online at Dr. Lady's unnecessarily long-titled website.com. See guys, this is what I love. And it's this type of like fun writing that so much Fun World stuff and just 90s Halloween stuff had on it that really is missing today. All the extra stuff that you wouldn't really think about today. You just want that product, and that's really it. Man, there's so many awesome photos in here. Oh, I can't wait to sit down and read this all the way through. I'm sure there's some helpful information here that I can learn, as well as just enjoying the writing, because I know the writing is going to be awesome in this. Let's get away from paper for just a moment to take a look at some other fun goofs and gaffs that Dr. Lady sent me. Now, for everything I'm about to show you, he actually did send multiples. I got 2 of everything, and I went ahead and gifted 1 of each to my friend Gavin, who is also a huge fan of Dr. Lady's. We like to get together and pretty much get the entire household together and watch Dr. Lady's content, and whenever he saw that I had all this stuff, he was super stoked about it, and of course whenever I saw that he sent me duplicates, I had to give Gavin 1 of everything. Starting off, we have the Horror Hotel Ice Cream Scoop, and it's an actual ice cream scoop. Just a funny little branded item, and that's how it is with a lot of these pieces. Let's see, next up we have the Horror Hotel Magic Answer Pin. It knows more than you do, and it has a little ghost on it. On the top here, you have like a little ball you can kind of flick around, and it says yes, no, or try again. Pretty fun. Moving right along, we have probably my favorite, I don't know, probably my second favorite. This is a tiny travel mirror, and it says Horror Hotel Vampire Detector. 1, aim mirror at subject. 2, check for reflection. 3, if no reflection, run. Another really ridiculous one. We have the official Late Dr. Lady Show horror fan, and it's an actual miniature working fan. Who else do you know that does merchandise like this? I mean, these days we see YouTubers releasing all sorts of crazy merchandise. It's just pretty normal, like almost everybody's doing it. But this was done really before that era, and this to me is much funnier. And then, probably my #1 favorite, we have this cup. Yet again, there were 2 of these. On one side it says the Genuine Mask Fest Drink Cup, and it has a pretty cool little skull logo there. And on the other side, it's upside down, it says the Genuine Mask Fest Economy Mask Stand. Now that is pretty funny. For most of you out there who ask me about mask stands and what I do, I've never used a cup like this, but I have used the larger plastic theater cups. I've used Pringles cans, we've used juice bottles with like half filled with water, just all sorts of crazy stuff. And really, it's funny because you'll find a lot of vintage mask collectors and even people who just have higher end pieces will also display their stuff on stands like that. Knowing that this was something from Mask Fest makes it pretty funny, and it's also pretty cool because Mask Fest is something I have never been to. It's always looked really cool and I've always wanted to go, but I've never been. Maybe one day, but still really cool to have this. Another fun little gag is this eye brownie. It's like a brownie that's iced with skin and it has an eyeball in it. There's a little bit of blood. It's hollow inside, so it's just like a little latex casting. It's a fun little novelty piece. I'm not sure really if there's a whole lot of history behind it. I don't think these are super old. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure these were more recently created and released by Dr. Lady, and they were pretty cheap. But of course he sent me this one entirely free as a gift, and I really appreciate it. Moving right along, we have a sealed Horror Hotel CD. I'm actually not sure if this is music or if this is like skits, what exactly this is, but it says Ghoul and Unusual Punishment. And I actually noticed, I think this is Horror Hotel 2. It just says Ghoul and Unusual Punishment on the side there, but there is a slash, so maybe it's 2. Regardless, I will have to open this up and check this out. I actually don't know much about this, but still really cool. But here we have a sealed copy of Dr. Lady's DVD, The Late Dr. Lady Show, Volume 1, the pre-sequel. David Lady, John Wolfie Hamrick, Laura Lady, and Kelly Hamilton. May contain nuts. For those of you who don't know, or if you haven't figured it out yet, maybe I haven't done my job explaining who Dr. Lady is enough, he is also a horror host. He is one of the classic horror hosts, and he had an amazing show called The Late Dr. Lady Show. You can find some little clips of it online on his YouTube channel, but I think for the most part, you're gonna need a copy like this to get the full experience. Dr. Lady gifted me 2 copies of this, so I gave one to my friend Gavin, and we're gonna go ahead and open that up and binge watch the entire thing when we see each other again. But on the back here it says Spooky and Spoofy, Ghoulish and Foolish, an innkeeper who's also an amateur mad scientist, and apparently some kind of living corpse, runs Horror Hotel, an establishment that caters to monsters and ghosts. He, his vampire wife Laura, werewolf assistant Wolfie, and their possibly human, well mostly, maid Eileen are a quartet of crackpots who regularly horrify late-night TV viewers in Central Ohio with their distinctively macabre, chaotic sketch comedy. Here on DVD for the first time, unless you count bootlegs, is a feature-length collection of many of their most memorable and least embarrassing TV moments. Grab some popcorn, lean back into your coffin, and prepare for the late Dr. Lady Show. I am so incredibly excited to sit down and watch this. Now, for those of you who are watching, you may have actually grown up with a horror host in your area. Regional horror hosts used to be pretty common. For those of us in the South, near Louisiana at least, we had Morgus the Magnificent, who is also pretty magnificent. But Dr. Lady has always been one of my favorites because of his connection to masks and also just his humor, his wit, in my opinion, is pretty unmatched. I know it sounds like I'm gushing, but I'm genuinely just trying to show some appreciation for someone who is absolutely one of the most important figureheads in the mask community ever. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of that cool free stuff Dr. Lady gave me, starting with this Weird Things That Need to Be Done magnetic memo pad, with a little picture of his character Scroovius there. Now, this is going to be getting a bit more obscure for you people watching. If you're a huge Dr. Lady fan, you already know Scroovius, but if you don't, you're about to. Dr. Lady is a very prolific artist, and he has created Hassle Castle, as well as just doing so many other amazing things. And he sent me this book of all of these cartoons. All of these awesome cartoons. Not just one, though. Here we have another Hassle Castle book. This one, in fact, is the really big book of Hassle Castle, featuring the best and some of the rest of the little-known cartoon world of Dr. Lady, with 10 complete and reasonably funny comic stories. I cannot wait to sit down and read all of these. Gavin's already asked to borrow them. I know he's definitely excited to check them out. Yet again, I really appreciate these. My only complaint is I really wish David would have signed these too, because this is just so cool and so special. And then we have one more Hassle Castle book. This one is not particularly nor graphic novel. Oh, I read that wrong. It's not particularly graphic nor novel. It's the smallest one of the bunch, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this is more of just like one complete story. On the back, they each have their write-ups, but I'm gonna leave that to you to go ahead and check them out in the close-ups. Unfortunately, he had to take a bit of a break from his YouTube channel for a while, but now he is back. So if you are not watching Dr. Lady's channel, go check him out at Mask Wizard on YouTube. Genuinely, you're missing out on some of the best mask content on YouTube if you're not subscribed. And with that being said, I think that pretty much does it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I hope you've had a happy Halloween. Don't forget to check your candy, and see you next time.